right, let's start with them in descending order of market capitalization. That means the largest company value is going downwards. In aggregate, that number is going to add up to only about 18 billion rand. Wilson Bayly Holmes-Ovcon, otherwise known usually as WBO, was founded in 1970. It's the combination of a bunch of different companies, Wilson Bayly, Ovcon, and so on and so forth. Specialises in commercial building construction. I think that's what they're best known for, though they do have a roads division, and that there's Probuild in Australia. We must talk about that. But best known for the high value buildings like the Standard Bank corporate building in Rosebank. They're heavily involved in the Menlyn quarter now as well. That's in Pretoria. Market capitalization 7.7 billion rand. Price earnings ratio 10.42. Historic dividend yield of 3.01%. Okay, Gary, what stands out for you in this one?
Well, I think if you look at the earnings quality, WBHO is probably a higher quality company. You know, if you look at the financial metrics at some of the others we're going to look at, it's one of the companies that didn't cut its dividend in the past. It is obviously benefiting from the infrastructure projects that you mentioned as well. I mean, it's working on Menlyn Main, it's working on Waterfall as well. It's now finished its sort of civil portion of Kusile, and that's now through the works. And I think if you are going to go bargain hunting, and you're going to, I mean, it's the only way that you're going to play the construction sectors. If you're looking for probably a quality asset that's been marked down unfairly, I think WBHO is probably not the wrong way to look at it. It does obviously have the biggest Australian exposure. I mean, I think 52% of its revenues.
What does Probuild do out there? Mixture.
I think I'm not.
Because I've seen the Probuild logo here on construction sites, so obviously they're sort of bringing that in part here as well as the.
I know they were increasing their stake in Probuild recently by small in the last announcements, but really the thing that you've got to watch here is also the differential between the South African exchange rate and the Australian exchange rate, and we've seen over the last 2 quarters that really blow out. So, I mean, they've mentioned it in the trading statement as well.
Hang on, when you say blowout, you mean in a favourable way for the rand earnings?
For rand earnings of Wilson Bayly Holmes. So that, I think you're going to see that Forex translational profit coming
Now,
through.
let me tell you, that is not a bad looking screen for a construction company over 5 years. I mean, it does look like a dinosaur lying on its back or lying on its belly maybe, but I mean, it's not as though it's totally down the drain. So as you say, if you were predicting a sector recovery, you may well say, well, let's go with a quality player because it's got the least work to do in terms of its turnaround.
Yeah, and I think it's been a little bit more consistent than the others in delivering ROEs. It's a little bit more cash generative than something like Avenge, for example. So if I have to go, I'm going to try and find 2 hots in the sector, and and there's a lot of qualifiers as to calling these companies hot. You need the recovery, you need infrastructure spending to come through. But I would say WBHO is one of the hottest stocks in the sector.
Okay, I'm going to avoid for the moment. A sneaky not hot there.